My name is Brett Smith, owner of Whitetail Land Management Services. This is the public land pick apart.
What's up, guys? Coming at you with the first public land pick apart in a long time. Once upon a time, we started this series called the Public Land Pick Apart. It was helping, public landers such as yourselves figure out where to hunt all across the country. We love to go on these rut hunts, these rutcations, these non-resident hunts. Maybe you're from Alabama and you want to come up and hunt the Northwoods, or you're from Wisconsin and you want to go and hunt Iowa, or whatever the case is. You're trying to figure out where to go. Well, that's where we are, or where we come in to help, guys. So we're going to be doing this every other week throughout the season. So if you guys have a place coming up that you're planning on hunting, drop it in the comments. If there's a place that you want us to break down, drop it in the comments. I personally have been everywhere from pretty much Oklahoma, the Dakotas, all the way out to Maine and North Carolina and everywhere in between at this point, whether it's helping out clients on properties, or hunting myself. So we've kind of been all over, and that's why I wanted to come and put this public land pick apart series back together, guys, so that we can help you guys out and help you have success on public land. So today we started in the most famous county in the entire country for big bucks, or so you guys like to think, Buffalo County, Wisconsin. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I actually went about 900 yards east of Buffalo County, Wisconsin, because I didn't love the public land in Buffalo County, and maybe that's more of a reason why you should go hunt it. It wasn't tried and true topographical Buffalo County type stuff, and so therefore I went a couple hundred yards to the east, and we're going to pick apart Boris Valley Wildlife Area, Chimney Rock Wildlife Area, and what is called Managed Forest Law Open Hunting Land that connects the two, which in the state of Wisconsin is just a tax, it's like a tax program for private landowners getting cheap taxes on their property, really cheap, especially if you open it to public land hunting, which this is. So if you see Managed Forest Law open, not closed, but open in Wisconsin, you can hunt it. So let's dive in and get into Boris Valley. So here's what I don't love about Boris Valley, is that there is a road running right down the middle of it. Now, for that reason, most guys would probably brush it off. Now, we got to realize that this is still good area. Like, if you want to go shoot a 120 to 150 inch deer and the occasional booner, maybe. I mean, I wouldn't be going here for a booner. I wouldn't be going to any public land for a booner necessarily. Not in the states you guys are thinking of, at least. I don't know. I when I see the access running right through the middle, to me that means like everything is semi easily accessible, which makes me think a lot of guys might not hunt it. But at the same time, everybody likes to get in deep. I'm not opposed to hunting close to the roads, so especially in this time frame. So the thing I like about Buffalo County, Wisconsin, is you can pick a topographical line, guys, and you can follow that line for a mile, 2 miles. And what I found out about Buffalo County, Wisconsin, because we have such neat topographical lines, you can predict movement for a long period of time, and so, or a long distance, I should say. So if you get a picture of a deer on XYZ ridge on this topo line, there's a good chance he could be a mile away on the same topographical line, and that's his route as to how he would get there. Most people wouldn't think about that. So one, if you're a non-resident guy and you don't have your topo feature turned on in this scenario, turn it on. And if you don't know it, learn it, because just changes everything. So the first thing that I do notice here is that westerly edge. I'm circling it right now. There's a ridge system. That's what this little circle up here on the far westerly edge is. To me, that is a perfect spot for a buck to bed on a southwest, straight west, northwest wind, with the wind blowing over his back, agriculture field off to the west behind him that he could drop down and feed onto occasionally, maybe coming back down into the public, maybe not. But I see this ridge point. So the first thing I'm thinking, especially on public land, is I don't really care about morning or evening hunts. Like on private land, you might wait for an evening hunt certain time of the year. Now, if I'm going in here for an early season hunt, guys, if I had to be honest with you, I'm probably going in, I'm hunting that ridge top in the mornings. Why? Because this agriculture field off to the west over here, especially if it's in beans, alfalfa, who knows what it is, and maybe even corn, those deer could be feeding down in that, okay? And so most guys would be, coming in from the axis in the evening, and the closer they get to that ridge point, the lesser your odds are of actually, well, I guess the higher the odds of you spooking the deer, right? And he's probably not coming down to the road system. There's no reason for him to, because that's where all the pressure is. He's probably leaving that bedroom and he's going to the west and hitting that ag field, meaning that in the morning I should be waiting for him up on this far easterly side. So I really like that spot a lot, especially on southwest, northwest, straight west winds. Especially like it if this field is beans and or alfalfa for early season. And I'll be honest, I don't mind that for a rut stand either. Get up on these high points. That's where these bucks want to be. You know, they want the vantage points. As far as this other piece looks, I do notice small little fingers jetting off of the private down here, like this little ridgetop finger. I like it. Your access is tough because you got to come up these draws and guess what he's waiting, or guess where he's sitting waiting for you in the evenings. He's already there, so I'd be sneaking in there in the morning. As far as a good evening sit, guys, I'd like to give you one here, but I'm not really in love with anything. We got another ridgetop up here. Good morning spot. Up in this corner here. Don't hate this one, especially if I came in here and just snuck right up top here on a southwest wind, and we have a little bit of managed forest ground to work with over there. As far as bedding goes, if I had to be honest with you, I like this managed forest law open stuff going, the way it looks over here. I like what we got going over here. You can see we have some conifers mixed in on this ridge top, and we have a lot of draws coming up either side of this. What does that mean? That means that if a buck beds at the top third of those draws, that he could smell everything underneath it. And I'm a big fan of bedding in and around draws. I like that there's 3 draws that converge right here into this base and this bottom. I'm not telling you to hunt that bottom. That's a thermal hub. The wind would swirl badly. But getting, you know, let's say we had a southwest wind, getting in and around, sneaking up around here and inserting myself in here, not a terrible spot, especially if he is bedded over here and sneaking off to this agriculture field, maybe up here or these over here. So like this spot right here, I really like. Okay, let's keep moving to the north. Kind of an overlooked little chunk here. There's good corridor going through it, right off the road, probably overlooked. We have a pinch point here. I know a lot of you guys wouldn't recognize that because you don't have your topo features set on, but the base of this ridge and this river system, solid blue line, meaning there's always water in it, should be at least. Little pinch point there. Let's keep moving north. Pine plantation, don't know how I feel about those. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. Pine plantations a lot of times don't have undergrowth because the pines are so thick. Let's see here. A lot of people might walk past this ridge top. I think it's a good morning spot again, sitting right up in here. It's just so close to a road system. Hell, I don't mind it, especially on a northwest wind blowing back down. Getting up to Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock. We have another ridge point hanging off of some public land or some private land ag fields here again, guys. You know, if you had a southwest wind, you'd have, what, a 200-yard walk to go sit up on this point right here and wait for a deer to come back out of the agriculture if they got back in here at 4 a.m. Don't think that's a bad spot, and right off the dang road. Let's keep going here. This piece at a glance, I don't love as much. I don't like hunting the easterly half on the easterly side of the road because your wind is generally blowing, you know, it's blowing in there before you ever get in there. But I do see some ridge points coming off of private again, so that's kind of what we're really focusing on in this piece of public, guys, is those ridge points hanging off of the private, you know, slightly onto the public. Don't hate those for morning sits. Evening sits, I don't love this, but at the same time, if it's the rut, you just get in there on those ridge points regardless. I mean, sometimes even if the wind's wrong, you got to get back in there. Let's see if there's anything else I'm missing here. I really don't mind these managed forest units, guys. These managed forest laws, and technically, I don't know where this actually falls, like, as far as the law goes. It looks like there is an easement to get into this piece down here. But as far as corner crossing goes, I know in some of the western states that is now legal, so technically, don't take my word for it, but I would assume that would be legal for you to jump from here to here if you wanted to. And I don't necessarily hate it. Like on a northwest wind, if you came down here into this creek system and kind of backdoored up into here, like that's actually a good evening sit right there, guys. Let's say you came up this draw, you corner crossed, you got down into this creek, hug that border, come up the ridge, and wait right here with a northwesterly wind blowing out this way. And hopefully he's bedded right up in here, and any one of these little topographical pinches. Because most guys, what they're going to do is they're going to come in here, they're going to go right at this main draw. And guess where he's probably bedded? Right at the top of this draw right there. So if you take the access route I just told you, down and around, that would be very abnormal, I would assume. and he would not be used to that, and so he wouldn't think anybody's in there. He'd mosey on down. You might kill him. Keep in mind, guys, if you kill a buck on one of these, let me know. Shoot me a message. Maybe we get you a free t-shirt, or we do something for you. That'd be really cool. But as far as, you know, quote-unquote Buffalo County goes, guys, that's what I got for you today. It's a little bit east of Buffalo County, but a very cool piece nonetheless. The reason I really wanted to use Buffalo County, guys, is because that topographical flow in this county. It's very neat and orderly. It's not very jagged. Like, I can pick a topographical line and I can follow it for a long way, sometimes a mile, 2 miles. And so that means that these deer really can travel really far, really fast, which is good for you because the more they cover the ground, the more opportunity you have to kill them. But it's a very neat area to hunt. It's pretty. If I had to tell you anything, though, the one thing I dislike about Buffalo County is the access is generally from the bottom up, meaning that you start your hunt with the deer above you, meaning that they have the vantage point. Well, guess where they want to bed anyway. So keep that in mind, guys. All right, guys. Well, that is what we got for you for today. Buffalo County area. Like I said, if you guys want us to pick apart a certain piece of public land, we're all for it. I've kind of been to a lot of these, if I had to be honest with you. Not necessarily this one. I haven't been to this one. I'm being transparent with you. You're never going to see my waypoints on here. We make sure we use a different Onyx account. So I have thousands and thousands. I think I have 8,000 Onyx points at this point or something like that. It's something ridiculous. Maybe even more. I'd have to look. But this is Buffalo County. This is where I would be hunting. A lot of people, including myself, would generally look past this place. Okay, I probably wouldn't hunt here. Probably all the more reason to hunt here. Everybody always looks for how to get back, how to get back. You know, they look for the one little point of access on the entire giant piece of public land. And if it doesn't have that, they ignore it. Maybe that's all the more reason to start hunting these easy pieces again, guys. So at the end of the day, guys, this is our public land pick apart. We're doing these every other week. And that's what we got for you today. So if you kill a big buck, shoot us a message. We'll send you some free gear. See you next time.